What is it called? Friday Firepit? Friday Firepit Fridays.
So we just put a bit more thought into dominating
Miserable and
comments
get,
box
you know
this
that.
morning.
Miserable and get.
You gotta call it like it is.
Friday, like, come on. The Friday Firepit.
7 minutes to 9, and I'm delighted to say Kathleen is back with us, and Cameron is here. Morning, folks.
Hello.
Hello. I was joking because I'm filling in for the acclaimed Colin Buhig this morning producing,
Acclaimed,
and I
you
was
say?
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Jesus,
Okay.
a big word
Yeah.
for him.
I doubt he's listening, so
Oh.
he won't hear the compliment. But I was joking that I should have just sat here for the entire show because I just keep bopping in and out and saying hello to you guys.
We're here for it.
Yeah.
It's the fire pit.
It is.
What's in the mixer?
Oh, well, I'm rather pissed off actually today.
What's wrong
Jesus.
with you?
So, was watching England-Italy last night. Fairly okay game. But was really looking forward to the start because I realised, oh my God, it's England and Italy. So, we're going to have the Italian national anthem. This is going to be brilliant.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see the anthem actually, but I did hear.
It was horrendous. Absolutely. I don't know where this trend of having singers come on and do a kind of up to date, more adventurous style of the
Art
anthem
house.
is. Yeah.
Just don't change it, you know.
Like there was like a
It was in Naples, the match, wasn't it?
yeah.
It's
but
a
there
very
was
American thing, that isn't it?
incredibly American. We were just talking about this outside, and it really annoyed me because that's a belter on its own.
Can I throw something out there? And by the way, not the first time the Italy have made a balls of an anthem.
Right.
over the last
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
years.
No, that's fair.
Now bear with me on this one because I did think about it. It just was a thought that came into my head when I might have possibly even been at the Aviva last week. So as you know, external factors may have been at play. But I just thought. So we go to the stadiums, right? And people. So the national anthems get played. They're very nationalistic. People get very patriotic about it. They're often quite militaristic.
Yes.
I think it's fair enough to say it's about either God will protect us or we'll kick the shit out of somebody, or if somebody comes and attacks us, we'll kick the shit out of them. That's roughly how those things
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Or we
I feel
don't
like I
like
have
the
to do
English
the
very much.
Colin
That's a
Buhig. Ding,
big
ding,
thing.
ding.
Yeah.
Less cursing, please, lads.
What you call it? So Ireland's call obviously has its detractors, but it's largely a fairly all arms around each other, and we
fairly
get on with
tame, nice.
we get on with things.
Yeah.
Crap
Could we inspire every nation to do what we're doing? Ditch the national anthem for sporting occasions and come up with an anthem that is specific to the sporting arena.
That's very. Can't you just be more like us, everybody else?
No, it's not. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. It's
Adrian,
just
I
an
can't believe you've
acknowledgement
just
that
thrown that out there because that's such an intriguing.
I know, and I apologise for not thinking
Intriguing
about
is
this
one word for
prior to coming on air to throw it out there. But it's not a could everybody do things like us so much as national anthems are.
Can you stop being patriotic? Is that
Can
what
be
you
a
just
little
come out
bit-
and say it?
Well, you get offended by the
Stop
English.
beating around the bush here.
I know. You know my views on that are well already.
There's nothing wrong with the
trodden.
national anthem at sports.
But
sporting events.
you'll get very uptight about the English national anthem. Let's say
No,
there are
it's
people.
their
Obviously,
anthem.
there are people around the world who get uptight about the French anthem or the Portuguese anthem
I don't
or
get
the
uptight
German
about anyone's
anthem,
anthem.
or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas you could actually just remove all of that tension by tasking these nations to come up with something that's a bit.
Let them sing God Save the King. I don't personally believe in God or the King, but that doesn't mean they can't sing it.
But you're like
Well,
you
we've,
don't enjoy it.
No,
They might end up with something like Ireland's Call, which is
Yeah.
very hard to get behind.
But don't let that be the benchmark.
Yeah, no, I know that's
Do you know
right.
what I mean? Like the ethos of it is what I'm talking
I
about.
love Iron-Vie, and Iron-Vie's brilliant.
You could
I
do
love singing it
a
at sporting events.
Eurovision style contest
It'd
for
be-
every nation to work out what their song should
love
be.
it.
Because, so when we played Qatar in that friendly, I was talking to my brother, we were about to watch it, and they were starting the anthems. And I said, I've never heard the Qatar anthem. And we made up lyrics. Like we said, the anthem was probably, "We are Qatar, and that is who we are." And then just that for about
good.
3 minutes.
That'd be a good one.
But that's the kind of thing that would happen if we tasked people to write their own sporting anthem.
it'd be shocking.
Because it has to, it'll be a camel designed by
having a few beers in, watching Ireland Qatar and coming up with some bullshit is not like a bench. They're not reason to
No,
not
but
do this.
Who do
a
you
camel.
Want, do you want Linda Martin singing it? Johnny Logan? Is this a Eurovision?
Why do we have to choose the crap route?
Because
What's the good route?
a camel is a
like,
horse designed by a committee. You would have to appeal to everybody.
What, Hosier singing it?
Somebody could come up with something. You have to leave the possibility that somebody could come up with something good. Like, we can't just say this won't work because it's crap. I have more empathy for the sort of it's our national anthem, and now is a chance for us to I hardly mentioned national anthem, and you got the hand on your chest, Shane.
Yeah.
But
Rightly so.
Frank says that I'm only saying that because I don't know the words to my own anthem. I mean, I do, but also I'm not 5, so I'm not offended by that. It's if I didn't know them, I don't know them, and that would be it. As it happens, I do. And another one in here saying, bum ba bum bum bum. No music at stadiums, please. And Flying Hellfish, I am obliged to mention this, says, congrats to Grammar beating Marist in the Senior Cup final on Wednesday. Sad face, oddly, it says after this. So.
Right.
But it was a convincing win for Sligo Grammar.
Grammar represent. Yeah, it was pretty great.
Congratulations.
Thank you
well
very
done.
much.
It was a great win.
Good luck to you. I wish you luck. But
I can't believe what you've just said, Adrian. Go on, sorry.
Well, there are people, David McLean here says, shocking idea. I'm open. I understand that.
absolutely.
I understand that.
Like I find it interesting because you know you bring up the point of national anthems, and I think I've said this before when we've talked about it. Like I covered a lot of games in England, and I never stood for their national anthem. And then as it went on, I never stood for anyone's national anthem because I was like, well, I can't really just like pick and choose one country because everyone kind of has their issues, especially in something like the Six Nations or, I don't know, the games I was covering. And would it be more comfortable of an experience to... Like, I totally agree with Shane. I love the national anthem. I enjoy going to Croke Park and belting out Aran Navi, and I'm very much the person that stands there and does that. But would it be a more comfortable experience if, say, you are going to games in England or you're going to games in the US and you don't have to stand for anthems, or you don't have to sit there and listen to things that maybe bring up uncomfortable connotations to you?
Well, that's a really good point. I suppose we never really think about the effect it has on the players. Like, I've heard plenty of players like Rob Kearney and stuff saying it's the longest 12 minutes in the world waiting and doing the anthems. Like, imagine you're just ready to go out and play the game. You've got out of the dressing room, you're onto and then you have to stand there going, oh, by the way, if you weren't shitting yourself already, you also have the hopes of a nation. Just to let you know.
That's the pomp and ceremony, though. It's been part of the sporting process for a century.
Forget about the anthem aspect of it. You're going out, we'll go out now and sing a song, and then you can go and play the game.
Sure, songs are part of our culture.
And sorry, my last point on it as well is that, of course, we may end up having to, if discussions go the way people expect over the next 5, 10, 15 years, we may end up with a 32 county Ireland, and the anthem is going to get stuck in the bin either way.
Well, I always think, like, in the end of...
maybe we sing something. Yeah, maybe we sing something else that's more all-encompassing. For sure.
I know it's different for us here, but say, like, in the US and the NWSL, they play the American national anthem before every game, and like the players who aren't from the US are also expected to stand there and sing the national anthem to the US, and like US. It kind of mixes. Some fans don't really care, and then other US fans get really annoyed if, say, like, Marsha doesn't sing the US national anthem, and you're kind of like, well, why do the players have to stand there and listen to another country's national anthem and be expected to sing it and participate in it, or like turn to the flag and put the hand on the chest and do the whole thing?
It's too much. Like, are you open to the national anthem changing?
No.
In the context of a 32 county Ireland.
Oh well, or you could have 2 songs and.
No, that wouldn't work.
Why?
Well, because there will be issues with the wording of the current anthem,
and you're forcefully differentiating.
Well, put it this way: if having a United Ireland means coming to some sort of arrangement where we change the song, then I think a lot of people would.
That's what I'm asking. I'm asking you.
Yeah,
are you up for that?
I certainly would accept that.
I'd be up for one song. In fact, Tender Chicken 56 has said that we should just play Mr. Brightside and sing that.
Would we change translate it to Ascoelga?
No. Just leave it as it is, because it's the closing song to every nightclub I've ever been to. So it does have that place in the national
Gaeltacht
conscience.
that used to do the songs every summer that went viral. Yeah, get them to do.
No offence, lads, but Kathleen, your view on this is who I'm most interested in. Are you open for ditching the anthem?
It's honestly very... I want a 32 county Ireland, and I'm definitely open to changing things, but I also find it difficult saying that because all my family came from the north, came from a Republican background, very much would think that they lost a lot of their identity over the years that they spent during the Troubles, and it's something that we've talked about a lot in my house, and there's been a lot of back and forth. But I also have a lot of friends who are similar age to me, like mid-20s, who want to move on and want to have a different identity for everyone and a shared identity. So I'm definitely open to it as a conversation, but it's hard for me to say that, I think, which I think is fair enough as well.
It's not supposed to be easy. If we're to make accommodations for stuff that we haven't done up to this point, it's not supposed to be.
I think that's the thing. Like, it just always sticks in my head about my parents because I know how much they feel they lost, and they've always wanted to be recognised for their Irishness, and stuff like this means a lot more to them than it does to me. So I can flippantly say, yeah, it'd be hilarious if we had a different song and didn't play national anthems before games. But I know for them, it means something entirely different. And I know for other people, they might think the complete opposite way. So maybe that is as good a reason as any to change it up a little bit.
Because the reason we brought this up is we were going to talk about stadiums and the best stadiums in the world off the back of the TG Cahir documentary, the series that started last night, where Dara Kaneda visits different stadiums around the world, like the Azteca Stadium. I think he was at Anfield last night.
Gorch Orga, if you want to watch it.
Gorch Orga, exactly. And the best, like, what makes a great stadium, I guess, or a great venue?
I think you have to look at the video that's gone viral this morning of Argentina, their first game at home since the World Cup win, I think, and just like the sound that's coming off. Like, we can only see a Twitter video of it, but could you imagine actually being there? The noise, it actually looks like a cauldron, the way everyone is almost like half leaning forward in their seats, and all the players have like their kids out with them. They're in tears, the coaches are in tears. You wouldn't want to be facing into that as an opposition team at all.
I have two answers for this. The most beautiful stadium/venue I've ever been at was the Red Rocks Amphitheatre.
Yes.
Which is just outside Denver, Colorado. It's in Morrison, I think, Colorado. Have you been there?
No, I've never been there.
Oh my God! Like the Beatles, so many great artists have played there. There's even a little museum at the site as well. But it's Red Rocks, so you can imagine what it looks like. But it's just this tiered seating. I don't know exactly what the capacity is, but it's like natural sound just bouncing off the rocks, and it's just unbelievable. Not to mention you can see Denver in the distance, and beautiful American landscape. So that's the most beautiful. And then just obviously the Crucible Theatre. I mean, nice and compact. 900 people, I think. 900 to 1,000.
Drink a game, I think, take a shot.
906
shot number 2.
snooker.
There you go. If you're playing Shane Bingo today, you're nearly there.
We've got them all in.
You only gave
You had
people
a
2
space
drinks.
interview earlier mentioned. So.
Space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Astronauts, space, snooker. Yeah, got it all in. But the Crucible for many reasons.
Is there, like, what's the feeling in a stadium that's that small, like 900 people? Is it an intense atmosphere?
Very
Because obviously
intense.
it's quite quiet as well,
Yeah.
unless there's a break in play.
Considering the sport, like, it's so intense. And anyone who moves, obviously, the players are straight away looking around, and you don't want to be that person whose phone goes off or who farts or who does something disrespectful.
Ronnie O'Sullivan giving you the stink eye.
You can imagine. So yeah, it's just, there's something about the atmosphere and the stars and the lights and the fact that it hasn't changed since the 80s. Like it pretty much looks the same as it did when Taylor won that 85 Black Ball final. So a special place, the Crucible. I'm heading back next month. Can't wait.
Is it the stadium itself that's good, or is it the event that you see there when you're there?
Oh, it's a mix of both. Like, I would throw, as a very left field choice, National Basketball Arena out in Tala.
Wow.
I've been there and it's been absolutely brilliant on Cup final weekend. Really, really great atmosphere. Very animated crowd. Incredible noise that they can generate, because obviously it echoes as well. But it's brilliant. I definitely recommend going out if you get a chance to go to either a national game or one of the Cup final games. But yeah, it is the event as well, I suppose. But it's whatever that intangible thing called atmosphere is. If you can capture that within a stadium, because the Aviva for ages, everyone used to say, it just doesn't have an atmosphere. You can't generate that. And I think they've done a great job in terms of trying to correct that. But it is very, very hard to do that just like forcefully. It has to be natural, I think.
Freed from desire.
Do you know when
we should sing that.
When Freed from Desire came on, I thought, I turned to my pal and I was like, what's the story?
What was it like in the
stadium? But when the beat dropped, then I was like, this makes sense. This is great. Like,
on TV, I was quite
well, they
enjoying
played it twice. They not only played it once. They played it once, and then they went off for a while. They played some other stuff, and then they came back to it again. But I think the crowd were vibing off the fact that the players seemed to love it.
Yeah,
so
Sexton was loving it.
Yeah, that's kind of what sort of kicked things off. The atmosphere, actually, funny enough, that you mentioned at the Viva Saturday, was a bit weird, but I felt that it was more that, like, felt to be like a boisterousness before the game started. Then it looked like the game was so flat. people got very nervous. And I think people sort of went into their shells a bit because the swing low would break out and then in one corner, and then people would either shout just loud noises just to make that go away, or start singing the fields, but it never really took on in a way that I just think people have been nervous about it, I think.
Yeah, I was at I used to steward at the Aviva, and I was at the 2018 All Blacks game.
All right.
And I remember that just because of the intensity and the focus that was so palpable in the stadium, and we were at the very far corner watching. That was absolutely incredible because it was on a knife edge. I don't think atmosphere necessarily needs to mean noise and good humour and stuff. It can be just the intense focus that's going on. That can be an atmosphere in itself.
Did you ever get to chase a streaker while you were stewarding?
No, I didn't, sadly, no.
You're posing that as if that's a positive thing. Did you ever get to?
If you have stewarded at the Aviva on your CV, the first question you want to ask is, did you ever chase a streaker?
No, I was up in premium, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
So you weren't even a steward stand to match positions?
No, I was looking at tickets and minding the toilet door. So all the glamorous jobs out there.
In case the door ran off or something?
Yeah. No, because there was you had to streamline it so people couldn't go through the exit door.
Okay.
Which they inevitably did, and then kind of half apologised when they did. Oh, I didn't realise.
Well, I'd say they weren't.
Apology accepted, Jesus.
I'm sure you weren't sticking too stringently to the rules, Cameron.
Yeah, a lot of wandering off.
Are we done?
I think so.
Well, we still have Kilban to come up, and also Hugo Keenan in a little bit.
I meant more the Firepit.
Smoldering
Firepit
away here,
I was just going to ask, is it out?
Smouldering.
Give us some love in the comments for the Firepit, please.
Absolutely.
Stop with the hate. We don't need the hate. Just even lie to us if you don't like it.
Well, a lot of people asking about a woke national anthem, which of course, is not really what we're talking about here, but
no,
it doesn't need to be all the negative stuff. We could come up with something good if we put our minds to it.
Freedom from desire is probably the best.
Danny Boy, somebody is saying here, which
I run a V and I think is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a good shout.
That's it for the Firepit this Friday.